You look in the mirror and see a belly, but what you're actually seeing is a diagnostic signal. Your body is trying to tell you something, and most people are completely misreading the message. I'm Dr. Ben, and here's what nobody tells you about abdominal fat. There are 3 distinct types of belly accumulation. Each one is caused by a different biological breakdown. Each one requires a different fix. If you treat them all the same, you will never lose it. Someone once asked me why their belly feels hard like a basketball even though they don't drink alcohol. Another person told me they've been fasting and exercising for months, but the soft pooch above their belt refuses to budge. A third person said they're eating clean, but their stomach keeps sagging lower no matter what they do. These are 3 completely different problems disguised as the same symptom. And if you don't understand which one you have, you're wasting your time. Let me show you how to identify your type and exactly what's broken underneath. Type 1. The hard drum. Picture someone with thin arms, skinny legs, maybe even a sunken chest. But their stomach looks like they swallowed a basketball. It's high, tight, pressurized. If you poke it, it doesn't jiggle. It feels firm, almost inflated. This is not fat. If you're trying to cardio this away, you're fighting the wrong enemy. This is a liver crisis. Your liver is a filtration organ. Blood flows into it, gets cleaned, then flows back out into circulation. But when your liver becomes damaged, scarred, or congested, that filtration system clogs. Blood tries to enter the liver but hits resistance. Pressure builds. The heart keeps pumping, forcing more blood toward the liver, but the liver can't process it fast enough. This creates a condition called portal hypertension. The pressure gets so high that plasma, the liquid component of blood, starts sweating through the walls of your blood vessels and pooling in your abdominal cavity. That belly is trapped fluid. It's called ascites. Studies show that in advanced cases of liver distress, up to 60% of abdominal distension can be fluid retention, not fat. The liver is so compromised it can't produce albumin, the protein that holds water inside your blood vessels. Without albumin, fluid leaks out and collects in your gut. If you have the hard drum, your liver is crying for help. You don't need a diet. You need liver rehabilitation. First step, eliminate the solvent. Alcohol is a solvent. It dissolves the lipid membranes of your liver cells. If you have a hard drum belly, alcohol is non-negotiable. It has to stop immediately, but just as dangerous is fructose, specifically high fructose corn syrup. Fructose bypasses every other cell in your body and goes straight to the liver to be metabolized. It's processed almost identically to alcohol. It creates the same fatty deposits, the same inflammation, the same scarring. I've heard people say they don't drink, but still have a hard belly. Check your diet. Soda, fruit juice, processed foods, anything with high fructose corn syrup. That's your problem. Second step, bile flow restoration. Your liver produces bile to digest fat and eliminate toxins. When bile becomes thick and sludge-like, it can't flow properly. Toxins back up. Inflammation increases. Tudka is a bile salt that thins bile and helps your liver flush out accumulated waste. It's one of the most effective compounds for reducing liver congestion. Studies show it can reduce inflammation markers and improve bile flow within weeks. Third step, antifibrosis support. When your liver is chronically inflamed, scar tissue forms. This is called fibrosis. If it progresses, it becomes cirrhosis, which is irreversible. Tocotrienols, a specific form of vitamin E, have been shown in clinical trials to slow and even halt the progression of liver fibrosis. They act like fire extinguishers for inflammation, protecting liver cells from further damage. You need the full-spectrum vitamin E family, not the synthetic alpha tocopherol sold in most drugstores. Look for tocotrienols specifically. If you have the hard drum, this is urgent. Liver damage progresses silently until it reaches a critical threshold. The earlier you intervene, the more you can reverse. Type 2, the hormonal shield. You look in the mirror and see a soft, squishy layer sitting right above your belt line. It's not hard. It's not tight. It feels like a protective cushion that refuses to leave no matter how much you diet or exercise. This is subcutaneous fat driven by estrogen dominance. Now, before you skip this section thinking estrogen only affects women, understand this. Men produce estrogen too. And in the modern world, we're all swimming in chemicals that mimic estrogen. The more belly fat you have, the more estrogen you produce. Fat tissue contains an enzyme called aromatase that converts testosterone into estrogen. The more fat you carry, the more aromatase you have. The more aromatase you have, the more estrogen you produce. The more estrogen you produce, the more your body signals to store fat in the lower abdomen and hips. It's a self-perpetuating feedback loop. And here's the variable most people ignore: plastics. You could eat clean, but if you're drinking water from plastic bottles, heating food in plastic containers, or storing leftovers in plastic wrap, you're dosing yourself with xenoestrogens. These are synthetic chemicals that lock onto your estrogen receptors and mimic estrogen's effects. Studies show the average person consumes roughly a credit card's worth of microplastics every week. Some people have questioned whether that statistic is accurate, and I've seen debate around the exact amount. But the core truth remains: we are consuming microplastics daily, and these particles disrupt hormonal signaling. Your hormonal shield belly is essentially a storage unit for these toxins. Your body wraps them in fat to protect your organs from direct exposure. To strip this shield, you need to shut down the aromatase enzyme and eliminate xenoestrogens. First step: cruciferous vegetables. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, and cauliflower contain a compound called indole 3-carbinol. When you eat it, your stomach acid converts it into dim-deindolyl-methane. DIM acts like a traffic cop for estrogen. It takes the dangerous, potent form of estrogen and pushes it down a benign metabolic pathway where it can be safely excreted. You can't just eat one serving of broccoli and expect results. You need consistent, concentrated intake. A high-quality DIM supplement combined with calcium D-glucarate creates a detox pathway. DIM neutralizes the estrogen, and calcium D-glucarate ensures it actually leaves your body through stool rather than getting reabsorbed. Second step: eliminate plastic exposure. Stop heating food in plastic containers. When you microwave plastic, you're cooking hormone disruptors directly into your food. Switch to glass or stainless steel. Stop drinking from plastic water bottles, especially if they've been sitting in a hot car. The heat accelerates the leaching of chemicals into the water. I've heard people say they can't avoid plastic entirely because it's everywhere. That's true, but you can control the biggest exposures: your kitchen, your water bottle, your food storage. Small changes compound. Type 3, the stress apron. This is visceral fat. Unlike subcutaneous fat, which sits under your skin, visceral fat wraps around your organs. Your pancreas, your intestines, your liver, even your heart. This fat is built by two hormones working in tandem: insulin and cortisol. Let me explain the mechanism, because once you understand this, everything changes. Cortisol is your survival hormone. In the wild, if a predator chased you, cortisol spiked to give you energy to run. It mobilized stored fuel and redirected it to your muscles so you could escape. Today, the predator is your job, your mortgage, your traffic, your phone notifications. Your body can't distinguish between a physical threat and a psychological stressor. It stays in fight or flight mode constantly. When cortisol is chronically elevated, it does something devastating. It breaks down muscle tissue and converts it into glucose. This process is called gluconeogenesis. Your body is ripping protein out of your muscles, your thighs, your glutes, converting it into sugar and dumping it into your bloodstream for energy to fight the perceived threat. But you're not running. You're sitting at a desk. You're scrolling your phone. You're lying in bed, worrying. So now your blood sugar spikes. Your pancreas detects this flood of glucose and releases insulin. Insulin's job is to store energy. Since you're not moving, insulin takes that sugar, which used to be your muscle, and stores it as visceral fat. You are literally dissolving your muscle to build your belly. A study from the University of Chicago restricted healthy young men to 4 hours of sleep per night for just 1 week. In 7 days, their ability to process glucose dropped by 40%. They became pre-diabetic in 1 week. Their cortisol levels remained elevated into the evening, preventing fat burning. If you're not sleeping, you're not losing the stress apron. So how do you dismantle it? Someone once told me they're doing high-intensity interval training every day, but their belly keeps growing. This is a common mistake. Intense exercise spikes cortisol. If you're already drowning in stress, doing a brutal workout is like throwing gasoline on a fire. You might burn calories during the session, but you're signaling your body to hold on to fat for survival. First step, low-intensity movement. You need long, slow, gentle movement. Walking, hiking, rucking with a light backpack. This burns fat without triggering a stress response. It lowers cortisol. It signals safety to your body. When your body feels safe, it releases fat. When it feels threatened, it hoards it. Second step, insulin reset through fasting. You need to give your pancreas a break. When you don't eat for 16 hours, insulin drops to baseline. This unlocks fat cells. But you have to pair this with reduced carbohydrate intake. Remember, cortisol can manufacture glucose from muscle. If you're eating carbs on top of that, you're just adding more fuel to the fire. A ketogenic or low-carb approach is usually the most effective strategy for breaking the cortisol-insulin cycle. Third step, adaptogenic support. Ashwagandha has been shown in randomized controlled trials to significantly lower cortisol levels. Pairing this with magnesium glycinate before bed improves sleep quality, which is where the actual fat burning happens. If you're taking magnesium, make sure you're drinking enough water. Magnesium pulls water into your intestines. Stay hydrated. So where do you start? Look in the mirror and be honest. Is it a hard drum? Stop alcohol. Stop fructose. Support your liver with TUDCA and tocotrienols. Is it a hormonal shield? Stop plastics. Eat cruciferous vegetables. Take DIM and calcium D-glucarate. Is it a stress apron? Sleep more, walk more, fast longer. Lower cortisol with adaptogens. Most people are a hybrid. You might have the stress apron combined with the hormonal shield. That's common. In that case, start with fasting to tackle insulin and clean up your environment to tackle estrogen. Attack both fronts simultaneously. But here's the rule that applies to all of them. Patience is not passive. Patience is active waiting. It took years to build that belly. It will not vanish in a weekend. But if you address the root cause, not just the symptom, the fat will leave. Slowly, steadily, permanently. Your belly isn't just fat. It's a signal. Learn to read it. I'm Dr. Ben. I'll see you in the next one.